Hi everybody, James here speaking, and this is going to be the real life, the fictional, the music band in the history. And I'm just going to be as corny to be, and the thought something I have to explain, as something is about that's going to be explained. This real world fictional bands and music industry for in the 1990s and 2010s light years. So I have this going to be as important there. When you're about to see this, here is the BNK48 live concert at Centralfestival Chiang Mai, and this was going to be had. They announced about BNK48 is going to be launch BNK48 Sister called CGM48, resident into the Chiang Mai. So this was going to be have a turn out to be just happen, and in this case it's about BNK48 just going towards to the Chiang Mai, and just have the live concert. They just have the consumer about this consumer with the teenage there have the girls, but the younger that have the younger have grew up there for new generation had this BNK48 the sister bands have the provides have the CGM48 have the turn things happen. And there's a really course that my friend says teamers is that he went on to the Facebook live streams is on to concert, and it has announced that it's about that Chiang Mai here, and Bangkok is lived in here. That has truth to fiction with the BNK48. They had they consuming this humanity, marketing its commercials is all over that, and they had to spreading this more fast than I could, and this has 100% real about the real explain, and just have to explain the where I was, and it says had the operation is an operation that established the Thai idol girl groups that have been established as a way back, and make surely as I don't just be that probably that's as I was heard about the live stream as before. I just went on my work onto my home, and I have to looking up to the Facebook live streams, and there's had the BNK48 as a Chiang Mai at the Central Festival to Chiang Mai that I had on there. Just people auditions who wanted light there for the cheerful first up, and the gratitude as always has had this was despite with the BNK48 and the AKB48 relationship to the title Japan is that as only have the truth. They have the truth as give him to opportunity that the teenage girl, and says offering this as by far that, and the by far that outside BNK48 as a limited as outdoor for as much as the furniture to do as much they had to establish onto as probably to establish to the June 15, and in fact the finishes out there is the finishes there to going through the Bangkok tour that's located there had this someone that had this shopping market place, and pulled them to everything's decorating this is on into it, and perhaps that BNK48 sister that has the Chiang Mai 48 is have call it it's CGM48, and the consumer does have a consumer with that given that teenage girls that have grew up that had it's required that 12 years old or 22-year-old, and perhaps as I was at the real life that I went to the previous before if I went. And went to Chiang Mai to visit my old families and my subsequent sister. And somebody had always, as new generations, its turns has happened, and that's all for realize are exactly I have to explain to be is that they had responsibility to the Bangkok and the Chiang Mai to there as a part connect to with the BNK48 and CGM48, and this offers about is given the opportunity. They had studied to the skill for the music dancers, idols, that were a bunch of there. A lot of people saying about that. And when I said where I just back in the before 2005, and as I childhood there, and influenced Japan, the consumer with the AKB48, and then they given to AKB48 Sister, that crew in the flew to Asia, and without being worldwide, and not being just get worldwide there, and the BNK48 established is going into it to the first place in the back 2016. The band is also does a turnout to be for turns to 3 years after, and afterwards that CGM48 is a Ghana has had his sister band as crew for that previous theirs at the BNK48, and they need to get established with the idol teenage girl unreachingly since the live stream. And I just had it gonna be turned out where I was that turns to things happen on this real world music industry is there, and they had to have the popular hits, the songs that the Kuishu Fontos cookies are that they have to use them. They're the things that had surrounded there as much to do this given the opportunity, and the spreading more of them located is there fast, and is overflowed just that within the 1,000 people in the Centralfestival in Chiang Mai. And the organizers are given about established for being born of the sister that BNK48 sister to CGM48. The CGM48 is that they had to include for leaderships members and former members, where was as previous that former members of BNK48, also known as outside of BNK48, and to leave it behind that 6 people. And perhaps that has given it turned out that people are as impressive and interested about it happens there to soon spread for provide Chiang Mai idols, girls and crew, and the BNK48 that took over the control in the Bangkok city is building into its first place, and then the second place that is given all of about the truth in the fiction. Instead, the Chiang Mai fiction, by far, the 20 years past as a Thai music industry, and then it turned out this year there's a decade. I have just seen that BNK48 has established the first place, and then CGM48 in the second place. In fact, as I also listened to there for the many songs for the Bob Rocks and Bubblegums, Bops and J-Pops and Thai Pops there. As always, especially things that BNK48 that turned out that took over place Bangkok and Chiang Mai place, and I really have thought if something is the case to turn out to happen is they will getting sued for open it June 15, and there's a given opportunity by the mans and with teenage girls led by the leaders have a partnerships the Chiang Mai to Bangkok as a live that thousand of a document there, and they have to produce it for the music recorder, and many just had many televisions there for on the internet is predictable for back to the years in this case of fictional in real life. But I just I really something happened in Chiang Mai, and this teamer case, and the teamer he was just watching the BNK48 looking up there, and perhaps the CGM48 is I don't know where this is coming. I guessing that's I'm guessing have to going to stay together with a Renaissance in the real world for real life. Reality there's the world that has a bit real. It doesn't have the real music, real band, fictional, real real fictional bands. Has a boy band, girl bands, and J-pops bands, pop rock bands, and mixtures of everything that's always that this turns happen. And whereas it ever was that since I was a child and the teenagehood, and I went to Chiang Mai as a century before, and I went to Bangkok. I went to before, and it's turned out that it's about 16 years later since being the BNK48 is formed and the CGM48 is now formed. In this case, something happens in the real world in Asia, the Thailand, that soon is already bet to under control. BNK48 is under control Bangkok, and CGM48 is going to be launched in the second place. That just look familiar. A lot of things happen. This was 100% familiar in real life. 100% real life in the fictional bands. That certain things happen. A lot has happened. A lot of good things happen here. The teamers he likes that BNK48 is all the time, says every single time. And the people got overflowed to consume it that 100 millions people all around here, including Europe's and worldwide, as it played single songs as every time. And in fact, BNK48 is spreading this very fast. But yeah, it's going to be Chiang Mai just happened. A lot of things happen. I'm gonna have to stay together with I have a lot there as with my old family. And if you're about to see this, CGM48, a Chiang Mai Thai auto girl groups, a sister with BNK48, and that's really course they have to make it familiar. They have to exist with the BNK48, and I like this that every single one's a band, and I was listening to Blur Green Day, Red Hot Chili Pepper. There was a time with a lot of favorite folks with that boy bands, and nevertheless the band has a favorite song like All Star Smash Mouth, Song 2 Blur, Clint Eastwood Gorillaz, Troublemaker Green Day, and Califation Red Hot Chili Pepper, Sugar Maroon 5, and many is a lot. I was just listening songs that with more than 1,000 times, and then 9,000 times. I always have heavy metal or rocks and music. Always have loud banging noise there. That's why of course that BNK48 got to predict is releasing out from live concert Centralfestival Chiang Mai, and they got out from the return to Bangkok, and they had soon. In this case, something happened in the real world to the soon. They get it established on June 15. A lot has happened, and I just want to have stayed my entire family members, and I love this every single one of them, and I like this. I was talking to my friends, and also I have a lot of my grandchildren surrounding are located, and I have to give them about this, help it together as a work to do with my boy band, and I better get it work as a daring. I have to spend a lot of work, my home, independently studio. A lot has happened. This is a lot has happened. And so this kind of the real world as a reality, as it get into mind, as imagine it, as give it my highly intelligence studied, being the renaissance of the live action reality. I just better get back to play the guitar. That's at Amanda's school, and then next year provides that former of the students of this grade 3 and second school is going to be the final grade, and hopefully it's getting to stay home for a while and watch the BNK48 and CGM48 is coming about open it very soon. And let me know about the CGM48 and tell you about the true at Chiang Mai this idol, Chiang Mai Thai teens idol girls group, and it's going to be established, open it that soon, says an announcement that soon, as far in the future. I'm planning on this here as a band's music industry sometimes in the future, but the CGM48 in here today. Yep, that's all about to say. And let me know about this interest here as a suggestion, and to talk about the BNK48 Sister opened to CGM48 explained that is open it, that's has opened it as established the band as a Euro band there for this June here. So, and that's all very much I have to say, and I would have to say thank you for stopping by, and I'll get to work everything inside as fast as I possible. We gotta have to post that everything topic as I told you about friends and people and something like that, and blah 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 blah. And I better to go into Chiang Mai. I had to give me about to take a break, the 3 days break, as a strong of my work and a strong of my school day. And yep, that's it. So, and that's pretty much to say. I would have to say thank you for watching the videos as always. Later.